Honorable Principal Dr. Jagannath Shamrao Patil. I suppose he is there. Sir, are you there? Patil sir? Patil sir, are you there online?
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome in the
Okay.
Faculty Development
Thank you,
Program.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Dr. Jagannath Shamrao Patil is Principal of Arts and Commerce College, Nagthane, in Satara district, and he has very wide experience in teaching as well as administration. All principals do have. We all know that principals have to work and the two wings, that is academic and administrative. In his research, he has MPhil as well as you are PhD guide also. So far, though you have recognition in 2010, you have three students have completed a PhD in your supervision, under your supervision, and 6 of them are going. So far, you have organized 15 workshop and conferences at national and international level, and workshops also. At your credit for research publication, you have published 51 articles and 9 books for both author and co-author, as well as you have edited 8 books. If we look at your profile, Honorable Sir, the bodies that you have representing are you are president of SUEK, SUEAK in 2010, president of National Level Marathi Arthashastra Parishad from 2013, the chief editor of Arth Samvad and chairman of academic and administrative audit, Sri Swami Vivekananda Shikshan Sanstha, Kolhapur since 2010, and you are trustee of National Level Marathi Arthashastra Parishad from 2017 to 2020. Contribution to university is very various, and I am reading it. You are a member of Board of Studies in Shivaji University, Kolhapur from 2010 to 2015. You have been Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences in the same university, that is Shivaji University, from 2010 to 2015 again. A member of Academic Council in Shivaji University, Kolhapur for the same tenure. You are a member of Senate also in the Shivaji University, Kolhapur. You are chairman of Multi-Faculty Board, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and chairman of RR Committee, that is Research and Recognition Committee, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Look at the achievements and that the awards so far conferred down to Honorable Principal. They are he was recipient of V.M. Dandekar Prize for Best Research Article, then Best Teacher Award by Rotary Club Kolhapur, Best Teacher Award by Shikshan Mandal Karad, and Best Teacher Award by Lions Club Karad. His experience in teaching and administration, we all know, but he had visited some other countries like Switzerland for in deliberation with Professor Eric Howe in the Department of International Affairs. With this very good academic and administrative background, Honorable Sir is with us. I request Patil Sir to start the session and guide us.
Okay. Good morning to all of us. Can I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. This is a great opportunity to join as a resource persons for the faculty development program. Good morning to all the enthusiastic delegates and the participants, and Asti Taluka Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Advocate B.D. Amberde Mahavidyalay, Asti, District Bid, in collaboration with the Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi, organized national level 1 week online faculty development program from 22nd September to 28th September 2020. And the main theme is role of the teacher in national education policy. You have already known that the National Education Policy 2020 is launched by the Cabinet Ministry of the Indian government. And this faculty development program sponsored by the Minister of the Education, that Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission Teachers and the Teaching, and the respected President the Kishore B. Hambarde, then the principal, respected principal, Dr. S.R. Nimbore, and the program coordinator, Dr. Abhay Shinde. And you have got the approval for the CAS, UGC, and AICT. You have been chosen the most important and the current and the recent subject. And so far as the new economic new education policy 2020 approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29 July 2020 replace over the 1986 new education policy. That I would like to first the subject is given to me that the vision, mission, and the provisions under the NEP, that is a vast subject, but I would like to mention regarding the role of a teacher in new education policy with the vision, mission, and the provisions. You know that the education is a fundamental for achieving full human potential, developing an equitable and just society, and promoting the national development. India will have highest population of young people in the world over the next decade. That is, India will be young India, and our ability to provide high quality educational opportunities to them will determine the future of our country. You know already that according to the former president of the APJ Abdul Kalam said that the low aim is a crime, and you know our aim should be high, and the government of India rescheduled the education structure throughout the country from the KG to PG level. The global education development agenda reflected in the goal of the SDG 4 agenda for the sustainable development adopted in the 2015 seeks to ensure inclusive and the equitable quality education and promote the lifelong learning opportunities to all by 2030. Indeed, with the quickly changing employment landscape and the global ecosystem, it is becoming increasing critical that children not to only learn, but importantly learn how to learn. Pedagogy must be evolved to make education more experiential. Experiential learning is most important in new education policy. Holistic, integrated, and discovery-oriented, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible, and of course enjoyable. The learning should be with the entertainment. That should not be stress and strain on the learner. So that should be enjoyable. And you know that the student-centric method is most important in the teaching, learning, and the evaluation system. And you know that already the NAC assessment, the teaching, learning, evaluation gives the highest allotment of the marks. So therefore, the teaching, learning, evaluation is most important. For this purpose, the curriculum must be include the basic arts. The new education policy consists of the curriculum must be include the basic arts, crafts, humanities, games, sports, and fitness, languages, literature, culture, and values, in addition to science and mathematics, to develop all aspects and capabilities of the learners and to make education more well-rounded, useful, and fulfilling to the learner. That learner is most important in this process, as well as the teacher is also most important in this process. Education must build character. Not only the teaching and learning and evaluation, but the NEP includes regarding the education must build the character, enable learners to be ethical, rational. The rational thinking is most important. Your approach should be scientific rather than the traditional, and you must be logical. That former President of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan, and earlier he was one teacher, told that the neutrality between right and wrong is the sign of the moral perversity. Neutrality between right and wrong is the sign of the moral perversity. So therefore, we should know the logical thinking. Logical thinking is most important, and every problem has its solution. If every problem has its solution, you must think over it logically. You take decision carefully but immediately. Your decision power in the teaching, learning, evaluation is most appreciable and most welfareistic. So the education must build. I have already told that while the same time prepare them for the gainful fulfilling the employment. Also the unemployment problem is very crucial and vital in India, and it has been tremendous increasingly. So far as the self-employment and the wage employment in this new education policy, that the employability will be increased in the future 2030 or 2040, up to 2040. The aim must be for India to have an education system by 2040 that is the second to none, with the equitable access to the highest quality education for all learners. Highest quality education is most important. From the independence, we are giving the teaching and the teaching process and the education system based on the Macaulay system. And the Macaulay system education system was to produce the only clerk, not to the self-employment as well as the professional skills develop. I know that the former chief minister of our Maharashtra and the chancellor of the Rajasthan, Vasant Dada Patil, introduced in 1984 the non-grant based professional as well as the regular colleges. Therefore, the professional colleges has been increasingly tremendous. Quantitative growth has been done, but we forget the quality of that professional colleges. Therefore, the problem arises, and the problem of the engineering colleges. So far as the engineering colleges, there are so many problems for the survival. That the highest quality of education for all learners, regardless to social and economic background, whatever be the economic background, that the learner lives in a rural area, as well as the urban area or the semi-urban area, the education to the learners. I have already told you that the new education policy replaces the new education policy, NEP 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century. Mental imperatives of our country. This policy proposes the revision and revamping of all the aspects of education structure, including its regulation and the governance to create a new system. That the regulation and the governance is the most important for the creating the new system and the implementing the new system, new education policy. So far as the teacher concerned, that the role of the teacher is most important in the new education policy. So far as the teacher must at the center of the fundamental reforms in the education system. Now the new education policy introduced from 2020, and the teacher is the center of the fundamental reforms in the education system. The new education policy must help re-establish the teachers at all levels from KG to PG as the most respected and essential members of our society. You know, the European countries, the role of the respect of the teacher is well appreciable. But in India, so far as we are thinking nowadays, earlier before the 30 year, before the 40 year, the status of teacher was very good and appreciable. But nowadays, the status of teacher has not been appreciable as the earlier. Which are the causes behind it? There are so many causes, but self-introspection is most important by the teacher. Self-introspection is most important. How much time we can give for the studies, how much time we can give the research, how much time we can give for the innovation, how much time we can give for the creating the patents and register the patents. Our main duty or the main function is as a teacher, that is teaching and build the students forever in the future life. So teacher role is most important. So far as we studied, the teacher should read not only the textbook but the reference books also. The teacher should know, and you know, the other readings also most important for the building the students in the future life. So far as the teachers shape over the next generation of the teacher. The teacher is shaping the next generation of the citizens. So that is the responsibilities, the duties and responsibilities of the teacher. The education policy must help recruit the very best talent and the brightest to enter the teaching professions at all the levels. You know that when the M. Pukto and AI Pukto introduced the various scales for the college and the university professors, that time the scales with some performance. Scale should be getting, or the scale should be receiving with the performance base. Scale should be based on the performance base. Performance is most important. And at that time, the seventh pay commission tells us that the talented people should be enter into the higher education or in the middle education or the primary education. So far as as per the MPSC exam and the IAS UPSC exam, the government of India introduced the NET exam, National Eligibility Test, and the government of Maharashtra introduced the SET exam, State Eligibility Test. What is the motto? What was the motto for the NET and SET? The NET and SET, the motto of the NET and SET was and is to enter the talented peoples and the brilliant peoples in the holy education field. That education field is very holy, and that must be very encouraging for the welfaring, for the creating the welfare, human welfare to all over the human welfare in the district, in the state, as well as in India, and as well as the in the world level. The education policy must help the recruit the very best brilliant teachers, teaching profession to all levels, ensuring livelihood, respect, dignity and the autonomy. Dignity and the autonomy, the dignity and autonomy, the new dignity and autonomy is most important. Teacher should be given the freedom for the learning, teaching learning process. The new education policy must provide to all the students, irrespective of their place, residence, and the quality of education. Then I would like to convey what is the principles of the policy, basic principles of the policy, and then I turn the vision of the policy. The purpose of the education system is to develop the good human beings. Good output of the education systems is to produce the good human being. Which are the characteristics of the good human beings? Which are the characteristics of the good human beings? And teachers should be good human beings, capable of the rational thought and action. Thought and action, as the Mahatma Gandhi, our Rashtrapita, told that the thought and action should be the two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. That is, if we thought or if we think over it, that your action should be based on the thinking power. Your thinking power is most important. Your mind is your great friend if it control it, but it is a great enemy if it's control you. Your mind is your great friend if you control it, but it is a great enemy if it's control you. So it aims the producing the engaged, productive and contributing citizens. That engaged citizens, productive citizens and contributing citizens for building an equitable, inclusive and plural society as envisaged by our constitution. The constitution, the original constitution and the amendment in the constitution, fundamental basic rights, duties has been given, and as per the constitution, the equitable, inclusive and plural society envisaged by our constitution. That is the inclusiveness is most important. That today also the gross enrollment ratio is around about 26, but the new education policy determined that the gross enrollment ratio will be 50 in 2040. The fundamental principles, the basic fundamental principles are as follows: recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each student. So you understood that the recognition, understanding, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities. That the intelligence quotient is different from student to student, but as well as the intelligence quotient is most important, as well as the emotional quotient is also important. You can develop the emotional quotient of the students, and the teacher should not be only teaching, but he should be all round, that the formulating the human welfare to the students. In new education policy, another principle is flexibility. That is not the rigidity. What will in future, what we get the experience that the changes will be made according to the new education policy. The experience is our guru, our teacher. The experience is most important. Another most important principle is multidisciplinarity and holistic education across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, sports, for the multidisciplinary world, in order to ensure the unity and integrity of all knowledge, emphasize on the conceptual understanding. That this point is most important, that the multidisciplinary approach has been started or included in the new education policy. That multidisciplinary holistic education in sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, sports, multidisciplinary word in order to ensure the unity and integrity. You know, in the future, the single stream of the education is null and void, because in the new education policy, the multidisciplinary approach has been brought into practice, and therefore the single stream, that arts college, only commerce college, only science college, that will be not exist in the future, because the multidisciplinary approach and the academic bank of credit, the implementation of the academic bank of credit, it requires the multidisciplinary approach. Another principle is the creativity and the critical thinking. Creativity, learning, teaching, and evaluation in this method, that pedagogy, the creativity is most important. That we call the Sarjanashilata. Creativity and critical thinking to ensure the logical decision making innovation. Logical decision making and innovation, you should require the creativity and the critical thinking. Every effect has its cause in the world. That at Newton, gravitational power told that there is a gravitational power in the earth. So therefore the fruit on the tree come in on the earth. That is creativity and innovation. Innovation is most important. As in introduction, the sir told that I visited in Basel University, Switzerland, before 10 years ago. And there was a discussion regarding the education system in India and Basel in Switzerland. That university was established before the 570 years ago. 570 years ago, Basel University established. While discussing the education system in India and in the Switzerland with the Erich Thaler International Affairs, in the discussion, I asked one question: what is the salient feature of your education system or in your nation? They told me that in our country, we have the highly research in plant science, in life science, and in the nanoscience. 3 fields researched by the Switzerland. That the plant science, you know, in Switzerland there is a flower, that the shower of the flower in the Switzerland. And you know, the life science, at the age of 90, at the age of 95, the people in the Switzerland walk without the stick, and they are the very joyful persons are there. So in Japan, there is one book written that the lifelong and the enjoyable life. That in Japan there is one village. The people lives in a village, and the age of the people is 120 years. So far as the lifelong and the enjoyable life, the Switzerland in the discussion with Erich Thaler, the nanoscience, the developing branch of the microbiology, then the nanoscience, they had been developed the RTGS. In India, we have developed the RTGS, but in that country, they had been developed the RTFTM, real-time voice translated mobile. The software has been developed in Switzerland, that real-time voice translated mobile. That means the size of the mobile and size of the charger is only the hair of your head is the size, and the software used in that mobile is RTFTM, that real-time voice translated mobile. Real-time voice translated mobile as the RTGS, real-time gross settlement. The real-time voice translated mobile software is useful for the, if I talk in Marathi, if I talk in Marathi from Maharashtra or Mumbai with the Japanese people, then the translation of that movement from Marathi to Japanese is sudden change, sudden translation, and they hear the Japanese people here in the Japanese language, Chinese language. That is a real-time voice translated. That is called the nanoscience. Nanotechnology is the most important in the future life for the human being. Then another is promoting the multilingualism and the power of language. Marathi is our mother tongue, Hindi is our national language, and English is our window language. That is the international language. So power of language is most important. Full equity and inclusiveness is most important. Full equity and inclusion of the all participant or the learners and the teacher. Extensive use of the technology. During the pandemic period, we reorganized the substitute for the teaching learning process. That is, we use the Zoom, Google Meet, so many softwares has been using, and in pandemic, the more powerful platforms increases, and the blended teaching is in the current situation, blended method for the teaching is most important. And that in the new education policy also, the Swayam platform as well as the other platform, Diksha platform, for the 25% from the online teaching, and 75% on the face-to-face teaching is there. Then the extensive use of the technology. Technology is a science, or technology is a science. It is a curse. That the use of a technology by the student as well as the teacher is the most important. The use of a technology for the extensive information as well as the knowledge, that is the most important. Synergy in the curriculum across all level of education. Synergy, that is the amalgamation of the energy is called the synergy. Synergy is a curriculum across all over level of education. Teacher and the faculty as the heart of the learning process. As I have told you that the teacher and the faculty as a heart of the learning process, teaching learning process, that is the role of the teacher is most important. Outstanding research as a co-requisite for the outstanding education and development. Outstanding research, that the patent, outstanding research is most important. Research is not a stagnant concept. Research is the dynamic concept. It is a developing research. The highly researched country in European countries, how the use of the research for the human welfare. And the human beings like the development of the research. If you got the one patent from your hard work, that the satisfaction of your is most appreciable and joyful. So the outstanding research is most important. Teacher should research. Teacher should work on their research, the current research. If if the MPhil thesis submitted to the university and declared the MPhil award, PhD thesis submitted the so many universities and the declare award. But in the PhD thesis, the last phase of the PhD thesis, what is the further research? What is the further research? The further research tells us that, the other researchers tells us that the one completed the research on the life insurance corporation performance and the investment of the life insurance corporation. He completed this. He completed the research. But what is the further research? Further research, suggestion for the further research is most important. And if you go through the any thesis, you should go the further research, the last phase of the research. That is the outstanding research. Then the continuous review. The continuous review is most important. That is the training for the teacher is the most important. Your knowledge should be updated. Your knowledge should be recent. You should be known about the technology, use of the technology. You should know the WhatsApp as well as you should have your blog. You should have the blog of your department. You should have the blog of your library. You should have the blog. Blog is nothing but the semi-website of the website. You should have the blog of the physical education. You should have the blog of your NSA department. You should have the blog, individual blog. The individual blog also creates the great opportunity for developing the research also. That is continuous review. Continuous review must be there. Education is a public access services, access to the quality education. Education is a public service. Access to the quality education must be considered a basic right of the every child. It is a basic right of the every child. Then after the principles of the new education policy, then what is the vision? What is the vision of the policy? Any new education policy envisages an education system rooted in India ethos, then that contributes directly to transforming of India. Transforming of India, that is the Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and the vibrant knowledge society by providing the high quality education to all, thereby making India global. The local and global. We have been adopted the new economic policy in 1991, that the LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. In that period, the competition creates the quality. Competition creates the quality. And therefore, after 1991, the competition, not only the local level, not only the district level, not only the state level, not only the India level, but the all world level. So in a competition, your product must be valuable, your product must be appreciable, whatever may be, that is a human product as well as the goods also. Your product is a quality too. And if you are wishing to product become a quality too, you should hard work. You should have the hard work. You should go through the detail of your subject. So thereby the making India global knowledge superpower. The APJ Abdul Kalam wrote the various books that the Wings of the Fire, that is the autobiography of the APJ Abdul Kalam. Then the Ignited Mind, that the Prajulit Mani. He and his Srijan Paul, the both wrote the book the Ignited Mind. That in Ignited Mind, they told that the superpower will be in the young people. Young people is most important, and due to the young India, their vision was the India will be superpower in 2020, and he wrote the book the Vision 2020. So with the help of the young people, the India will become powerful in the world. Already the Vijay Bhatkar and this team that we rejected from the America, the supercomputer. America rejected India to giving the supercomputer, but the Vijay Bhatkar and all the team invested and innovative practice, and they produced the supercomputer. So this is a challenge in the future. So the policy envisages that the curriculum and the pedagogy of our institution must develop among the students a deep sense of respect toward the fundamental duties and constitutional values. The fundamental duties and the constitutional values are most important because the constitution and the amendment in the constitution. Dr. Bharat Ratna Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar wrote the constitution. He was the president of the constitution and wrote the constitution, and he had been given the equal opportunity, equality, fraternity, then the freedom. So many. There are the preamble of the constitution was you already known. The vision of policy is to instill among the learners a deep-rooted pride in being the Indian, not only in thought but also in spirit of intellect and deeds, as well as the developed knowledge, skills, values, dispositions that support the responsibility, commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and living in a global well-being, thereby reflecting the truly global citizens. Here, truly global citizen, producing the truly global citizen is a challenge in front of you, before us. The truly global well-being citizens. The sustainable, you have already known regarding the sustainable development. The sustainable development is forever development for the next generation also. And the structure, being considering this the vision of the policy, the structure of the school education. Earlier it was the 10+2, but now it will be 5+3+3+4 up to the secondary level. But we should know we are concentrating on the higher education, but total structure has been changed in the new education policy. The higher education, quality of the universities and colleges, that accredited by the NAC, the autonomous body at Bangalore. The UGC has been established the autonomous body for the accreditation and re-accreditation of the higher education, the colleges as well as the universities. So far, the ICRA, CRISIL, there are so many credit rating institutions. In the higher education, there is a NAC. So the new and forwarded looking vision for the India's higher education system is most important. So in the miracle change in the higher education system is introduced. Higher education significantly contributes toward the sustainable livelihood and economic development of the nation. The higher education is significantly contributes towards the sustainable livelihood and the economic development of the nation. As India moves towards becoming the knowledge economy and society, more and more young Indians are likely to aspire for higher education. Young India is most important. Given the 21st century requirement, quality higher education must aim to develop good and thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individual. Creativity, Srujanashilata is most important. For the purpose of the developing holistic individual, it is essential that an identified set of skills and values will be incorporated of each stage of learning. From KG to PG, each stage of learning, the values, skills and values may be incorporated. Higher education must form the basis of the knowledge creation and innovation, thereby contributing a growing national economy. Our national economy is fastly growing, but the role of education in the growing national economy is most important. From KG, primary, middle school, higher education, the role of the teacher and the students are most appreciable. Some major problems currently faced in the current education system. You have already known which are the problems we are facing, and what will be the solution, what will be the panacea for the problem. I already told you that every problem has its solution. In a higher education system, which problems the higher education system facing the problems? The one problem is the severely fragmented higher education system. A severely fragmented higher education ecosystem. There is a fragmented, traditional, less emphasis on the development of the cognitive skills and learning outcomes. What is the learning outcomes? The course outcomes, the program outcomes, the specific program outcomes. That stress has been given by the NAC committee on the outcomes also. Which are the outcomes? Your specific outcomes, course outcomes, subject outcomes. That is the outcome. A rigid separation of the disciplines with the early specialization, streaming of the students into the narrow areas of study. In the current situation, the rigid separation of the disciplines means the streams and specializations, that makes hindrances for the all-round development of the students. That is the basic problem. Then the limited access, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged area, with few higher education institutions that teach the local language. Then limited teacher and institutional autonomy. That there is a dilemma regarding one side there is unemployment, another there is a shortage of the teacher, not recruitment of the teacher in higher education, in primary education, in middle education also. This is a dilemma. Therefore, we are facing the limited teacher and the institution. If we got the A grade from the NAC, that is the challenge for the becoming the autonomy. You should go to autonomy. There are challenges. That is the challenge for all the institutions, higher education institutions. If we go to autonomy or not. So there is the limited scope for the institution autonomy. Inadequate mechanism for the merit-based career management and progression of the faculty and institution leaders. Progression of the faculty and leaders, they will limited scope. Lesser emphasis on research at most universities and colleges. Lack of competitive peer-reviewed research. Funding across disciplines. Comparing to the universities and the college, the research culture is, so far as the college, we comparing to college, at a university level, research culture is more. But at college level, research culture is very less. So research must be part and parcel of the teaching, learning, and evaluation. And research, out of research, in the research, we will get the outcome. And the outcome is input and outcome. Input, cost-benefit analysis in the economic theory. Cost-benefit analysis, the ratio of the input and output. Input and output, the cost of the education. Cost of education, one student. What is the cost of education for the one student? And what will be the returns from it? That returns must be that should not be measurable also. That should be in welfare, human welfare being also, or the value based or the constituent based also. An effective regulatory system and an ineffective regulatory system. In the current situation, an ineffective regulatory system is there. Large affiliating universities resulting in the low standard of undergraduate education. The large affiliating universities. The Mumbai University and the Nagpur University, that the more than 800 colleges affiliated to the university. How the university control the more than the 800 colleges? That is the problem. The system or the earlier system told us that in one district, one university will be there. But in the future new education policy, there should be autonomy as well as the university, and the college will produce the students and will give the degree also. So these are the problems facing in the current education system. To recover, to overcome about the major problems, the policy vision includes the following key changes: the cultural system. These are the problems. What will be the remedies? What will be the panacea? What will be the solution? I have already told that the problem is a challenge, and every problem has its solution. You must be positive. Your approach must be positive, and positive approach leads to the sustainable development as well as the increasing the human welfare. Increasing human welfare is the motto, and you should know the relationship between the teacher and the student is also most important. Relationship nowadays the teacher pupils ratio has been decreasing. The problem solving is the remedies for the current problems facing in the higher education. The moving toward the higher education system consisting of the large multidisciplinary universities and colleges. In new education policies, multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one in or near every district. As I have told that the moving toward the higher education system consisting the large multidisciplinary universities and colleges. In district, there may be college or university, but the university and college will be multidisciplinary, at least one or near every district, with more program in local and Indian language. Local and Indian language, that approach of the language powerful, that is the most appreciable. Another is a moving towards the more multidisciplinary undergraduate education. Our undergraduate education is not multidisciplinary. If the student got admission in the art faculty, he should not know about the commerce faculty subject. He should not know about the science faculty subject. He should not know any diploma subject or the NSQF, National Skill Framework qualifications, that the UGC launched the NSQF programs, the certificate programs, the diploma programs, and the BVOC program also. 3 years BVOC programs, diploma 1 year, and certificate for the 6 months. That is based on the skill-based and professional model. That moving toward the faculty and institutional autonomy. More multidisciplinary undergraduate education is also most important for the situation. That undergraduate education is the base of the higher education, the postgraduate education. So moving towards the faculty and institutional autonomy. Faculty autonomy and the concept of the autonomy and institutional autonomy is the solution for the current problems facing in the education system. Revamping curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and student support for the enhanced student experiences. That is, the curriculum should be restructured, reaffirming the integrity of the faculty, institution leadership positions through merit appointments and the career progression based on the teaching, research, and service. Teaching, learning, evaluation, 3 parts are most important, but in a new education policy, along with the teaching, research and service is most important. Your service to the students, service to the society, outbid your offbeat best practices done by the colleges is most appreciable by the NAC. Offbeat practice, that the outreach programs for the society is most appreciable by the NAC. And if NAC given the grade and CGPA, that will improve the quality. So therefore, you go on offbeat. You work now you are working in holy place as education, but the expectations of the new education policy, you go in the society, you work in the society, you work the welfare of the society, you work the problem of the society, you work the you give the solution for the problem of the society. You identify the problems, local problems, need-based problem, and you also introduce the need-based NSQF as well as the short-term or certificate courses accordingly. So, if you know there is a sugar cultivation in Maharashtra, known as in the agriculture, the sugar cultivation. What is the problem of the sugar cultivator? What is the problem of the sugarcane factories? What is the problem of the labor? What is the problem of the soil? What is the problem of the NPK, Natra Spurat Palash? What is the fertigation? What is the drip irrigation? What is the sprinkler irrigation? And you know the distance between the two lines of the sugarcane. It has proved that earlier the two lines of the sugarcane was only 2 feet, 3 or 2 feet. Nowadays, in 1 acre or the 1 hectare, the cultivators, modern cultivators, the distance between the two lines is more than the 4 feet, and the production and productivity has been increased up to 120 tons per acre. In our Nagthane, there is a highly research, and one the Rauri agriculture center is there in Borgao. So in the Nagthane premises, the modern agriculturist cultivate the 120 tons in 1 acre from giving the distance between two lane of the sugar, that is at the 4 feet. So that is the most important. Then the establishment of National Research Foundation. National Research Foundation establishment, and to fund outstanding the pre-reviewed research and the actively need research universities and colleges. You know, in recent days, university also funding the for the minor research project. Earlier, the UGC has been funding the major research project, minor research project, but nowadays funding from the UGCs has not actively done, but from the ICSSR or the DST or the other funding agencies, ICAR funding for the organizing the say national level, international level seminar, all conferences, as well as the major and minor research project conducted by the faculties, the teacher. Then the governance of the high HES by the high qualified independent board, having the academic and administrative autonomy. Then light but tight regulate, single regulator for the higher education. It expects that light but tight, the flexible as well as the tight regulation by single regulator from higher education. Increase access, equity, inclusion through the range of measures, including greater opportunities for the outstanding public education, scholarship by the private and philanthropic universities for disadvantaged and underprivileged students, online education, that is most important, online education and open distance learning. Earlier, online education and open distance learning not recognized by the NAC committee, but in the new education policy, online education and open distance learning, ODL, and all infrastructure and learning materials accessible to the available learners with the disabilities. That is the most important. Then moving to large multidisciplinary universities and higher education clusters is thus the highest recommendation of this policy. That major recommendation of the new education policy is moving to large multidisciplinary universities and higher education institute clusters. You know that the cluster will be done in the future. Cluster will be done. That the survival of the fittest. मोठा मासा लहान माशाला खातो. Survival of the fittest is the basic feature of the new education policy. So cluster will be coming in the future. That a small higher education institutes amalgamate in the large higher education institutes. During this policy regarding the structure and higher education is the highest recommendation. Highest recommendation was there. As I have already told that single stream in higher education institutes will be phased out over time. Single in future, there will not be single stream. That is only arts college, only science college, only commerce college. To increase in this policy, to increase GR to run open distance learning education is most important. As I have already told that the last 25 years, 30 years, the major sincere efforts had been done for increasing the GER, gross enrollment ratio. That is a challenge in front of the education system in India. But for the increasing the GR, the expenditure on the education should be increased. You know, after the independence, Kothari Ayog was there. In 1986, new education policy was there. But up to this point, up to this level, up to this day, up to this year, the expenditure on education with the GDP, ratio of expenditure on education to GDP is not more than the 3.5% or 4%. Kothari to your expenditure on education, recommendations of the Kothari Commission was your expenditure on education must be maybe more than the 6%. 6%. In European countries it was there. In India it was not there, only 3.5 to 4%. Only 3.5%. Therefore, the problems facing by the teachers, students, that the leaders, that the educationalists, that the universities, colleges, if the expenditure made by the government, that the state government or the central government, that may be 6% of the GDP. If the expenditure increases on the education from KG to PG, the gross enrollment ratio will be increased. So, with reference to the expenditure, in the new education policy also tells us that the expenditure on the education will be increased. There will be some other organization and some other provision was made by the new education policy. So, growth will be in both public and private institutions. Another feature of the new education policy is growth will be both sides, public as well as the private. So, in a new economic policy, NEP, we have been entered the private and you have been liberalized so many LICs and other institutions. So, there is the requirement, existence of the private as well as the public school is appreciable, is remarkable. The overall higher education sector will aim to be an integrated higher education system. Integrated higher education system is appreciable. Integrated from KG to PG. Integrated higher education system, including professional and vocational education. The stress has been given on the professional and the vocational education. You know that the plumber, there is a scarcity of the plumber. Scarcity of plumber. There is a scarcity of the electricians. There is a scarcity of the carpenters. There it is sculptures, the scarcity of the sculptures. You should produce the electricians. You should produce the plumbers. You should produce the housemakers. That skill education, that the professional and the vocational education should be given to the students, and the self-employability will be increased in the future. You know, regarding the university, worldwide means multidisciplinary institution of the higher learning that offers the undergraduate, graduate, and PhD programs and engages in higher quality teaching and the research. That is most important. The university worldwide means that introduced that the credit got by the institution, and they take the student got the various institutions placed in the various so that the graduation, PhD programs, and engages in the high quality the teaching and research. We require the nation required high quality of the teaching, high quality of teaching and the research. You know, the sustainable development depends upon the highly research. Sustainable development depends upon the various research, the dynamic research. The research and the teaching, research and the education are the two sides of the same coin. So in the new education policy, your theme is also the role of the teacher in new education policy. In new education policy, the teacher education is vital in creating the pool school teachers that will be shaped in the next generation. The teacher education and training. You are getting the training in the faculty development program on online mode. On online mode, that is not the face-to-face mode. The online mode. There is a training, and the teacher education is vital in creating a pool school teachers that will shape in the next generation. Shaping for the next generation, the teacher for training for the teacher is the most important. And you know, you are concerning with the online teaching and digital education. The role of the online teaching and digital education in new education policy is vital, is important. So you should know the new techniques of the teaching. You should know your blogs. You should know how we create the website. Teach your students the graphic design. The demand for the graphic design is very increasing. Demand for the creating the website, creating the blog is increasing. So far as concerned, you should start the certificate course on your. You should start the diploma courses on local level. You should start the advanced courses. You create the creativity among the students. You create the creativity among the students. The creativity is the backbone of the self-employment as well as the employability in the increasing India, in the developing India, that in the growing India. So teacher role of most important, and online and digital education is most important. In the pandemic situation, we should not know regarding the online education. Only shortly we know the education, but in pandemic situation in Corona, education, online education. smart boards and smart education, ensuring the equal use of the technology. Policy recommends the following key initiatives. The use of technology in a future, the role of the teacher using in the recent technology is most important. That the following are the key initiatives for the online and digital education. You should know the online and digital education. That one is pilot studies for online. Pilot studies for online education. That is IGNO, NIT, IIT. In the IGNO, NIT, IIT, YCM, the pilot study has been conducted in the new with reference to new education policy. Another is digital infrastructure. Whatever required for the infrastructure for the digital education, that your finger is most important, and this finger tells us that you give the order by your brain. You should have the more than the 100 billion neurons in your brain, and you should use the 100 billion neurons, maximum utilization of the neurons. APJ Abdul Kalam, Dr. Bharat Ratna, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Savitribai Phule, as well as the Shahu Maharaj, the Karmur Anna, and the Shikshan Marshi Dr. Babuji Salonke uses the neurons in the brain. So you should do the digital infrastructure, develop the digital infrastructure. Then online teaching platform and tools. You should know online tools. We completed the SWAYAM, the SWAYAM platform, and you have been the various online. SWAYAM is the basic. SWAYAM is the very useful as well as the students. You should know regarding the SWAYAM, as well as the Diksha is also best platform, and SWAYAM is also best in an activity. Expect how much students for SWAYAM, as how much the teachers registered and completed the course for the SWAYAM. That is a free of charge. SWAYAM is a free of charge. You should know SWAYAM. Then another digital education, online education is content creation, digital repository and dissemination, addressing to the digital divide. Then virtual lab. In new education policy for online and digital education, virtual lab, increasing the virtual labs, build the virtual labs, that now we only theoretically use this platform, online platform, in the large contest, but while the practical use, the virtual lab must be there. Virtual lab is part and parcel of our research, as well as the supporting the theoretical part. The virtual lab, training and incentives for the teacher. The educationalist, institutionalist, and the universities give the incentives and training for the teacher. The various platform, the educationist should the on duty or duty leave for the teachers for the training, and give the incentives in the form of the traveling and other incentives. Online assessment and examinations. Last 2-3 years, we teach the students on online platform, on Zoom, Google Meet, and we also conduct the examination on online platform, and we also assess the examination. So online assessment and examination is there, and blended model of learning. We know the blended model of learning. Blended model of learning is nothing but the face-to-face learning with the online meet. Online meet, that is the face-to-face learning, as well as with the help of the Zoom meeting or with the Google Meet also. That the institutional reconstruction and consolidation. Institutional reconstruction and consolidation made in the future in the new education policy. The another last point is how we can implement. There are so many provisions are there, but I told you the provisions only regarding the higher education. There is a vast subject and it requires one day for the explaining the various provisions. But I told you the vision, mission, and the problem facing in higher education and solutions, as well as the role of the teacher in the new education policy and role of the online and digital education. And we conclude online and digital education in the blended model of learning. Pedagogy is most important. That is the method of teaching that we call the pedagogy. That is the teaching method. Teaching which method earlier we use the lecture method, question answering method, and then we use the PPT also for this purpose. And PPT PowerPoint program presentation is also the more powerful for this problem. And you know in the use, if you use the mobile, Android mobile, only we use the Android mobile only 5%. The specifications in this we use the 5%. If we use for the Twitter, the blogs and Facebook, we use for this purpose, and therefore that will be the increase the human welfare. Most important problem is the policy is very good. Policy is incorporated the policy, new education policy. It is a very good. Our motto, that we call the policy is very nice, but the second part of policy is most important. Second part, and in the universities also, the last yesterday only the Shivaji University launched the first year BCom course as per the policy. What will be the first year, second year, third year, how credit will be get from the Nakhtani college as well as the other college. The university has the tremendous efforts. Various universities get the tremendous effort to implement the new education policy from this year for first year BCom, first year BSc. And the cabinet resolved the resolution regarding the new education policy. The policy effectiveness depends on its implementation. Policy effectiveness is the implementation of the policy. The implementation of the policy is the new education policy. The success of the new education policy, is most important depending upon the implementation of the policy. For the implementation purpose, various bodies has been working and will be working. For the effective implementation, MHRD, then the the SIBA, Central Advisory Board of Education, NTA, National Testing Agency, NCERT, the NCERT already the National Council of Education, SCRT, State Council of Education, Research and Training Center, National Testing Agency, then the NCF, National Curriculum Framework for the teacher education. That is, the teacher education is the vital, creating the pool I have already told you that the teacher education is most important. So, Minister of Human Resource Development, the Minister of Education, massive open online course, that is MOOC, from the Swayam platform. MOOC is massive open online platform, is most important. Memorandum of understanding is also there. NGOs is most important. National Institute Technology, National Institution for the Transforming India, National Policy for the Education, NPA, then the National Sample Survey Office, National Skills Framework, Qualification Framework, as I have told, the NSQF, Open and Distance Learning, ODL, Public Finance Management System, then the School Development Plan also, socio-economically, this one group is also there. So these are the various agencies, various institutions, provision made by the government of India at national level as well as the state level also. Concluding the session regarding the vision, mission and provisions with respect to the role of the teacher in new education policy, I would like to mention that this is a challenge. No doubt opportunity is there, but challenge is different from the opportunity. Opportunity means you overtake or you can get these opportunities, you can overcome, but challenge is a challenge. If you overcome the challenge, that your sincere efforts are most important than the success. That Krishna told the Arjunas, Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. That your sincere efforts are most important than your success. In the implementation of the policy, the teacher role is and student role is also most important. The institutional provisions made by the central government as well as the state government is necessary, but the actually implementation for the social welfare, human welfare, national welfare, the role of the teacher and role of the student, role of the faculty, role of the non-teaching staff is also most important. So this is a challenge. This is a challenge in the new education policy. Challenge to teacher, challenge to university, challenge to educationalists, challenge to institutions, challenge to central government, state government, but that is a challenge. So concluding this remark, I would like to conclude that you bear me last 1.5 hour, and so far as introduced by the introductory speech, my introduction has been given by you, but this is a great pleasure to me that I present the speech half an hour, 1.5 hour for you are the great educationalist, you are the teachers, you are the brilliant, you are the brightest, and your role in the future is most appreciable and most important. The Rabindranath Tagore told that one sentence is most important, that you consider, you think over it, that the sentence that is most important, that in the teaching, learning and evaluation process and the research process, the Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel Award, tells us that all will be well, all will be well, all will be well, all will be well today, tomorrow, and the thousands of the year. All will be well, all will be well, all will be well, all will be well today, tomorrow, and thousands of the year. If you wish to, all will be well. If you wish to all will well, you must do first thing. You must do the first thing. Forget many things. Forget many things. Again, I will quote this sentence. All will be well, all will be well. Today, tomorrow, and the thousands of the year. All will be well, all will be well. Today, tomorrow, and the thousands of the year. If you wish to, all will be well. Today, tomorrow, and the thousands of the year. You must do that. The first thing, you forget the many things. You forget the many things. I have already told that this brain include the 100 billion neuron. But you forget the many things. If you forget many things, you go further. You do the research in future. That is not the dustbin. This is not the dustbin. You should make the dustbin. You forget that many things. You will develop yourself. You develop your students. You develop your college, your university, your state, nation, and the world also. So this is I am grateful to the organizer, principal, as well as the coordinator, and also I will give the best wishes for the future to the participant delegators, and you think over it what I present in this session, and I am grateful to organizers that before 2 months ago, the on telephonic talk, we should give the opportunity, invitation to me to talk on the new education policy, and at that time, I faced the second cycle in 16th and 18th and 19th July for the second cycle on our college, and we got the A plus CGPA 3.42. This CGPA is highest in the Sanstha, in the university, as well as the Maharashtra, in affiliated colleges. So therefore, the ideal, there is a model for the all Sanstha. Thank you for it. Thank you for all the participants as well as the organizer. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very brainstorming and informative lecture. Actually, just 2 days before, our principal made a telephonic contact with you, and you were ready for this. And I must congratulate you on behalf of all the participants here. That very good grade you have, 3.42 CGPA is the greatest. I say, very few colleges in India might have got this.
Okay.
We do have, but we are just A and we are 3.17. That too is good in our locality. Sir,
thank you.
Starting from, you said government policy that is offering colleges some permanent non-grant basis. It started, and there was a crisis between quality education versus quantity education, especially when professional colleges came into being. And there was, we are there, what to think about, whether quality or quantity. In our enrollment of the students, we prefer quantity. And once we prefer quantity, then quality, then we have to say quality and quantity go inversely proportional. This is the problem. Even the government policies like Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and making everybody literate. Literacy rate, we are here to increase literacy rate. And therefore, somewhere this problem, as you have stated very skillfully, then in upcoming new education policy, we can say national education policy, new national, you said multidisciplinary approach is appreciated, and that is very good thing. And multilingual approach, as we all are, many of the delegates are Maharashtrian, and we say Marathi is the sweetest language. It is sweeter than nectar, Sant Jnaneshwar says that Amruta pe hi paise jinke. But it has some limitations. And when you go to national level, Hindi takes over. But as you stated, that everything becomes global to local and again local to global. So English becomes the window to world, and therefore blending teaching, blended teaching that you have promoted, especially promoted in national education policy, and extensive use of technology that we are expecting, and everybody can see that in post-COVID scenario, we all are. Even sometimes it happened that my students know better than me, more than me in technology. But I am learning from my students, I am learning from my kids. And now teachers are also using very good in technology. The corona had many bad things, but this good thing had come up. And then sustainable development also you talked about. And as teaching and learning is the most important thing, as student is the main stakeholder, but along with teaching and learning, research and services to student and services to masses, service extension services, that is also important. And online digital things you promoted, as you said, we use only 5% of what is available there in the Android phone. We don't use we don't make use of 100%. As Einstein, we say, some philosopher had said that we don't use our brain at optimum level, and it was Albert Einstein who has used it maximum level, that was only 9 or 10%. In the concluding, you quoted about Rabindranath Tagore, you told us the story of Krishna and Arjuna. It was a very fruitful lecture, sir. Thank you very much on behalf of all
Thank you.
delegates. I'm very
Thank you,
sure
sir.
that all delegates will get benefited by this, your advice, your guidance. I just want to ask delegates, if you have something to ask to Patil sir, you are free to ask. You can unmute your mic and you can ask. If there is any question, you can ask. Otherwise, the guest of session 2, that is Adruddin sir, is also online. If you need a break of 10 minutes, we can go for a break. Otherwise, we'll continue with Adruddin sir.
Okay.
Any question for Patil sir?
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Actually, sir, as sir rightly said, that English is the window for us if we have to go outside of the India.
Right.
But as we just observe the first draft of the national education policy, there we can see that English may be or may not be selected by the students till 8th or 12th grade. It might be expanded till 12th grade. Then how can we cope up with that? How can we acquire this only in higher education? As presently we are studying it from first standard itself, but then also we are not that much comfortable and comfort in communicating. Then how we will be able to acquire the language only when that has been introduced to us, or we have opted it for in our higher education or in our degree itself? Are there some special references or some provisions that students could acquire the language efficiently and immediately?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
As far as the question raised by the participant, that the language is not hindrance in the learning. That is learning process. In India, we have the Marathi schools as well as the convent schools. But at the convent schools, the growth of the student at the primary level up to 7th class, the local language is most important. In China, there is no English for the students. The Japanese language is the most important. But in the national education policy, importance has been not given the English language, but local language also is most important in the national education policy. So far as our learning stage increases, that is up to the child psychology stage, till that up to 12 years, that means learning is, but our willpower is most important. So far I think that the language barrier is not hindrances for the implementation of the new or national education policy.
Is it okay, sir? I hope the doubt is clear.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
I'm audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Vinod Kakade from ESD College, Varwan District, Pune. My simple question, sir, you just deliver the lecture. What message give to the teacher from your lectures? Yes, sir.
Pardon, sir? Pardon?
Hello.
Pardon? हा सर पुन्हा सांगा तुमचा प्रश्न काय म्हणला
What message is give to the teachers from your lectures? Just.
हा okay okay they very nice
Okay.
and appreciable question that the message to the teacher is a student teacher should be sincere. Your sincere efforts is most important. Your knowledge, you use the new technology, advanced technology, and your interaction with student is most important for the point of all over development of the student. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anything to come, or should we conclude?
Yes.
If there are no more questions,
Yes, sir. Conclude.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Vinita, sir, from Narayangarh, Ambala, Haryana.
Okay.
So I want to ask that as you told in your speech, that NEP will increase employment up to 2030 or 40. Can you explain, sir, how it is possible when our population is also increasing day by day?
Okay. Very nice question raised by the madam. But you know the national education policy draft and the cabinet, the most important, I stressed on the implementation of this policy. If they implemented this new national education policy with the provisions made in the national education policy regarding integrated education, that I have given the one example regarding the plumber, electrician, house builder, house making. There is shortage.
So your voice is cracking, sir. I can't go. I can't.
What happened?
So your voice is cracking.
What can I do for it? What can I do for it? I have the best Wi-Fi net is there.
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Yes. Madam, as far as the new national education policy, the implementation and the traditional pragmatic education system drastically changed in the national education policy. Not in 1 year or 2 years, but it requires the 10 years, it requires the 20 years also. Therefore, I made a statement regarding the 2030 and 2040. In that year, the employability will be increased. If employability will be increased with the help of the skill and the professional and the vocational education, and the only not the wage employment. You know that there is a dilemma. I have already told that there is a dilemma. The teacher student ratio and the proportion of the teacher or the regular teacher, percentage of the regular teacher in Maharashtra, regular teacher is only 40 to 50%, and 50% teaching post vacant. So there is a dilemma. On the one side, the shortage teacher, but on the other side, the recruitment of teacher by the government of Maharashtra or the government of India has not been increasingly so much. But if we consider the integrate education, from KG to PG, it require the, you know, the 12 year plus 4 year, it requires 16 years from KG, completing the graduation, and the 18 years or the 17 or 18 years for the completing the PG, or the completing the, you know, the middle he completed also the 1 year PG course also. So it requires the 15 to 16 years. The result will be get after the some years, 10 years, after the 15 years or the 16 years. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I hope all doubts are clear.
Okay.
As sir said that due to including professional vocational courses and education, skill-based education at very high school level, there are chances that after 10 years there will be employment, rising employment. And as the message to teachers, the sir, Patil sir himself is a message, because we can see he is retired but he is not yet tired. And the biodata I already read. I express my very sincere gratitude to sir. Thank you very much. And we are here for session 2. The guest and resource person of session 2, Honorable Azharuddin sir, is there. If we want to have a break of 10 minutes without getting logged out, we can have a break, and within 10 minutes we'll again assemble. Otherwise, if you don't need a break, we can continue. Somebody from your side can answer.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Should we have? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Patil,
you. Okay. Okay.
Should we have a break of 10 minutes, delegates?
शिंदे सर,
हाँ सर. हाँ सर.
सरांना लिंक पाठवली आहे.
हो सर, आले ते जॉईन झालेले.
जॉईन झाले ना, मग ते 10 मिनिटाचा ब्रेकचं काय ते बघून घ्या सगळेजण.
हा, एकदा डेलिगेट्सना विचारतो मी. So yes sir, welcome sir. I'm just talking to delegates. If they need a break of 10 minutes, we will have. Otherwise, we can continue.
Delegates decide the schedule, or you people decide the schedule?
Sir, please sir, 10 minutes break sir.
No, I am very much surprised. You take the decision, na?
Yes sir, yes sir. We are.
You take the decision whether to give the break or not. You are asking the delegates. There are around 100 people. How can they answer?
That is right. That is right.
Correct,
That is, we every day we have break of 10 minutes. As a format, we will have it because
Okay, you take the break for 10 minutes. No
yes,
problem.
Okay. We have break and we'll accept. My appeal all delegates not to get logged out, and we will be there after 10 minutes. Thank you.
I request all of you, please join all on time. Only 10 minutes break.